If you are stuck in your life, especially mentally, and you feel like the way you feel and the thoughts that you have in your mind seem to not change no matter what you do. And if you are someone who have been watching my videos, then you might understand that I have spent so much time to read so many books and understand a lot of difficult concepts, from quantum physics, from spirituality, from philosophical concepts to all the other things, to come to a realization that I'm going to be discussing in this video. And in this video, the concepts that I will be talking about is going to help you in ways that you can't even imagine, and it is going to save a lot of time. And this is going to be a completely unscripted video, so that I just share the wisdom that I have gained through listening to a lot of people, through understanding and processing a lot of emotion that I have gathered from different mediums. So, to start with, first of all, let's get back to 3 4 years back in my life. I always had this question where I always questioned what is the base of our existence, and why is there so much inequality in our lives as human beings, right? So I have seen people who are born rich, I have seen people who are born in a very pathetic condition, and there is me in between both extremes. I was like, okay, who is deciding all these things? And there are some people who are very intelligent from their birth, and there are some people who are not so intelligent. There are some people who are good looking, there are some people who are not so good looking. So we can say and we can understand that there is a lot of differentiation based on a particular factors from birth, which cannot be changed, right? So when once I understood this, then I understood a lot of people think that God, the entity that has created everything in this world, has some reason behind this. And if you understand this, if you understand this concept of God and God creating these things because of a reason, you can either be happy about it, or you can have a lot of misery in you, you can have a lot of resentment in you. It depends. Because if you are someone who is blessed or who has a lot of things since childhood, you will be like, yeah, it is a great thing that I have all these things from my childhood. But if you're someone who has been struggling, who has been going through a lot of unfortunate situations from your childhood, then you will be like, what did I do wrong so that God did put me in this situation? So you have to understand a lot of concepts have been, let's say psychology, let's say spirituality and philosophy. These three different aspects are trying to answer this same very question. And if you look at the authors, if you look at the writers, if you look at the scientists, a lot of people started from the same standpoint of questioning things around you, right? And if you are also in the same situation where you start questioning things and you think like, a lot of things are not same, a lot of things are not common, then you have to watch this video fully, because I'll be talking about a lot of concepts which is not going to be very theoretical, but it is going to be a lot more practical, so that you understand what I'm talking about, or you can understand what actually God is trying to tell you, or what actually the creator is trying to tell you. No matter what you name it, universe, God, or anything you want to name it. But there is something that knows everything, that understands everything, that designs everything, that controls everything, right? Because it is not under your control for the sun to rise every morning. It is not your control to the sun to set every evening. And it is not under your control that your heart is pumping at a particular rate and your blood pressure is at a particular level. Everything is already auto regulated. But there should be someone or something that regulates all of these things. So let's first talk about God. I don't want you to think of God as just as a judge, right? Because once you think in a very human perspective that God is a judge, then you will find a lot of reasons to think that God is not giving justice, God is unjust. Because a lot of things from our existence included is not justified. There is a lot of justice missing around us, right? Because we can see a lot of people doing bad things, hurting other people, yet succeeding in what they want to do. And there is this constant struggle, and there is this constant fight between goodness and badness, good and evil, right? So now you can understand that God is not a judge sitting in the sky seeing everything from the sky, because we know we as human beings have been to sky, we have been to space. We know that there is no single person or an entity which looks supernatural, which looks like which looks extraordinary sitting there. No, that is not the case. And this is where a lot of spiritual concepts come into play. They Spirituality tries to explain this, but you have to understand one thing. At the end of the day, we are human beings, right? No matter what we do, no matter what we say, we have a human eye, we have a human intellect, we just have human tendencies and capabilities. And with these capabilities, you can't go, farther than a point. Because, for example, if you have a bike and you can just ride that bike for 100 kilometers, right? Because the fuel is a concept and the ability of the bike to travel longer distance is a factor. So there are a lot of factors deciding where and how long the bike can function properly and normally. Similarly, we as human beings even have the same capacity. You just can't go and run 100 kilometers in a day, but of course you can train for it, but you can't do just in the first day. No matter what you do, no matter which David Goggins video you watch, that is not going to be possible. And that is the same concept here. God is what and how you think He is. If you think that God is someone, He's so unfair, He has put you in this situation for a reason, and you're not, you just don't like the way God functions, then of course that is going to be your fact. That is going to be the reality that you experience. But if you actually look around, you will understand one thing. Yes, you are born in a particular state, or you have experienced particular things, but there is always a chance for you to make a decision. No matter where you are, no matter what you do, you always have a chance. You always have a decision to make. That decision is either to stay the same or to change. That is always there. No matter what you have done, no matter how bad your life is right now, if you think of it, you will understand, maybe I actually have a chance to change my life. That is what actually, the so-called God wants from you. Because if you look around, you compare yourself with other human beings, but just compare yourself with other living beings apart from human beings. Just look around and think of and compare yourself with other human beings. I mean, sorry, other living beings. Let's say animals, let's say birds. You are far more intelligent, you are far more capable. Yes, you are not the strongest, yes, you are not the fastest, but yet we as human beings have controlled the entire living things in our world, in our planet. We have zoos, we have controlled, and we have put the fastest animal, the strongest animal in a zoo so that we can go and just look at them and enjoy. That is what we are capable of as human beings. That is how we are evolving, and that is a chance that you have. Being born as a human being is a gift. Understand that. Being born as a human being with this cranial capacity, with this evolutionary benefits, with this current state of technological advancement, isn't that a blessing? I am someone, I might be sitting at some end of the world and you are watching my video right now. Isn't that a blessing? Isn't that a chance? Isn't that an opportunity for you to also explore your own life? This wasn't the case 100 years back. 100 years back, there was no, there were great minds living at that time, but they couldn't contact everyone, they couldn't communicate with everyone all over the world just like this. But we have that. If you want, you can just go and learn anything from internet, from YouTube, right? That is not just a technological advancement, that is because of the evolutionary benefits and the intellectual ability of human beings. If you think that you are not enough, if you think that you are having a bad life, then of course you are going to have a bad life, because you are not going to see any opportunities around you. You're not going to question things, you're not going to explore things, you're not going to get better. And just consider this, okay? Let's take the best football player in the world. Do you think that particular football player is the best and has always been the best from their childhood? Of course not. They trained. They understood the concepts of football, they understood skills, they learned skills, they developed skills. Maybe yes, it was easier for them because of some talent being there, some genetical advancement, I mean genetical, let's say, favor towards them. But they did work towards it, they did build a lot of things mentally, right? If you think that your life is so bad, if you keep complaining about things, you just keep thinking that no, this is going to be my situation, then of course, so be it, that is going to be the case. Because you have intelligence, you have, of course you have a mobile phone and you have an internet, that is why you're watching this video. If you wanted, you can just, instead of scrolling through social media, instead of watching other people doing different things in their lives, you can do something in your own life. You can learn something new, you can understand some new concept, you can do something that you have always wanted to do from your childhood. Just look around, just look at the opportunities that we have as a generation in the 21st century. But no, and that is what exactly has this psychology, this spirituality, this philosophy has made me do. It has made me to question everything, it has made me to understand complex concepts, because I can, because you can, right? And we always tend to compare ourselves based on particular parameters with others, where you fail to understand what your potential is, what you can do in your life, where you can go in your life. Because once you decide a destination, if you're planning for a vacation, you should understand up to what point can you travel. Only then you can plan accordingly, right? You have to decide the destination, you have to know how far you can go. And there are different factors that are going to define it, but you have to understand how far you can go for a vacation, only then you can plan, right? So similarly, you have to understand, you have to know your potential is so huge. The upside is just limitless. But yet you are questioning yourself, yet you are, the worst thing to do is to actually blame God. You can still breathe, the food that you ate is still being digested, your nervous system is still working properly. Look at how many blessings or how many things going right now. Think of something goes wrong, something in your body goes wrong, you can't be watching this video right now. This is not a negative thing, this is not a positive thing, this is reality, this is what actually matters. This thinking is what actually changes a lot of things. I'm not asking you to be to change in a moment, to change, to stop questioning everything and just to do things as it is. But you have to understand that you can do things, you can of course do things. You are a human being, no matter who you are, where you are, but yet you are a human being. If you understand, only a person who understands the capacity of human beings knows the danger, or knows how well we can evolve, needs to control this entire generation, needs to control human beings. That is why we have social media. If you scroll through social media, half an hour is gone, 1 hour is gone. Where did it go? What did you do? How many reels did you watch? What benefit did you give it? Did it give it to you? Nothing, right? So I just want you guys to start questioning things in your life right now. You keep on triggering some things from your past, or the fear that you have about your future. I've spoken a lot about this in my videos. I'm actually bored to talk about the same things. I want to discuss more concepts. I want to discuss a lot of different things. I really want to do all those things. But I just want you to, you know, believe that you can do a lot of things in your life. And if you actually think of all the things that I've just said, then you will realize, okay, actually, that is true. Actually, what this guy says is true. We have that capacity. I have that capacity. And maybe I can do a lot of things if I want to, if I choose to. And I'm not choosing it. I'm the one to blame. Then everything changes in this moment. So always believe the change is always an option, and there is always a choice to make. Hope so this video added some more value to you. And if you want to talk to me, if you want if you're stuck financially, then you can get on a one-on-one session with me. The link is in the description. Do check it out if you want it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.